Am I the asshole? My husband keeps leaving his medication where our kids can reach it. My husband has left his medication out several times on the edge of the kitchen counter. We have young children who can reach it and don't know any better than not to put it into their own mouths. I've asked him nicely a couple of times to be more careful. I've put it away several times and said nothing. This time I text him, "You left the Tylenol at the edge of the counter without the cap screwed on. Are you just relying on the fact that I am going to clean up behind you so our kids don't poison themselves?" He called me upset after saying that I am micromanaging him and that I sound just like my grandma. He said I should just put the medication away and not hassle him with it, not say anything. I told him there has been plenty of times where I said nothing. This is a safety issue for our children. He says I'm nagging him and was still angry with me. I honestly think he is acting like a man-child, and I'm probably even angrier than he is with me at this point. I'm just not being an ass about it. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Search him up some emergency videos due to children taking medications they grab in their own homes. Nagging? Are you serious, dude? This is literally a life or death scenario. Yes, it's that serious. FFS, this isn't a time to pout or accuse the mature new of dramatics. My husband had this problem too. Not just with Tylenol but everything. Then I started locking everything up and the key was on the car keys. He lost his mind when he couldn't get some NyQuil while I was away. So I told him that he's too irresponsible to handle medicine since he leaves it everywhere with the lids off. So once he grows up, he too can have a key for the locked cupboard. Until then, none of the children in the house get access to the special cupboard. He pulled his head out of his ass pretty quickly. Tell him micromanaging him would be you following him around telling him how to do things. So he would never have the chance to leave the bottle there in the first place. Since you are trying to correct his behavior and that doesn't seem to be working, I would offer to micromanage him so he can see the difference and if that's what he needs in order to actually make the house safe for the kids. Either that or you can put things in timeout so that he either had to earn them back, or he has to ask you for them as he obviously isn't responsible enough to handle taking medication on his own. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. So much not the asshole. On a totally unrelated note, did you know that divorced mothers do less housework than married mothers? It's like having one less child to clean up after, apparently. Tylenol odds can cause permanent liver damage. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Nagging someone about the correct way to load the dishwasher is one thing. Telling someone off for leaving medicine the kids can reach in an open bottle is being a responsible parent. I remember when I had family staying with me, and they would leave alcohol out. I don't drink. One time it was vodka in a glass, kids thought it was water, thankfully I grabbed it before they drank it. I was done with reminding them, and banned alcohol. They were not happy. But I told them they either play by my rules, or they leave. I didn't care if they went out and drank. But no alcohol in my house because I couldn't trust them to put it somewhere the kids couldn't get it. Not the asshole. It's dangerous and could cost you your kids' lives. Not the asshole, and I find it alarming he doesn't even care if his children poison themselves because of his inability to put a cap back on the pills. I'm a petty ass, so I would get a lockbox for all meds, that way you control it and can supervise since he can't be a grown-up and do it himself. Not the asshole. He should have concern for the safety of his own children, not expect you to clean up after him. And when I worked for CPS, not keeping medications locked away was grounds for removal of children from foster families and from bio families. Your husband is behaving like an ass. He's putting your kids in danger but he's angry at you. I hope he has a lot of good points, because Not the asshole. You both probably don't realize what happens when you overdose on Tylenol. There is a feedback loop that kills the liver. Kills it. As in you needing an organ transplant when there are no livers to be transplanted, so you die. You don't heal from it. Not the asshole. I'm seconding the person who said to get a lockbox and make him have to ask you every time he wants any medication. He wants to act like a child, he will be treated as such. Not the asshole. If medicine is left out, throw it away. Seriously. Every time. If he can't take proper precautions, he shouldn't have it. You're not his mommy. Tylenol overdose is a terrible way to go, and you are not the asshole, not the asshole, not the asshole. I have ADHD and leave stuff everywhere and literally don't see the cupboards I leave open until later, and still there is no excuse for leaving meds around. This is non-negotiable. Meds go away from kids. They will get into stuff. Poison control is there for a reason, and the couple times I've had to call they do not judge, they know kids get into stuff. But fortunately mine were fine. That is not always the case. One time they used diaper rash cream instead of toothpaste, for example. Meds away from kids. Period. Just clean up after my mess and leave me alone. Lol, woman face palming, not the asshole. Your husband sucks. Holy hell's not the asshole. Adult Tylenol isn't just a potentially dangerous medication for small children to be around, as the kids are small and unused to swallowing pills. They can choke on those tablets. I don't know your husband, but I do know I'd like to yell at him too. What a self-absorbed AH. Not the asshole. That shit is toxic to little kids. Not the asshole. This is called weaponized incompetence. Look it up because you need to be aware of what he is doing. Not the asshole. That's so incredibly dangerous, and the gaslighting is so incredibly immature. One of these days you may not be the first to notice, and it only takes once for a kid to get really hurt. Not the asshole. Bullshit. Say nothing. How about he grows the hell up and acts responsible? Hide the medicine every time he does it, use a different spot, don't get it for him when he asks. He doesn't care about the well-being of your children. Logic isn't going to work to change him. All you're left with is making it as inconvenient as possible for him not to change the behavior. You don't have to gentle parent an adult, you can hostile parent them. Not the asshole. You don't endanger your kids. I mean, you are nagging him. BC he's an irresponsible R. Lock up the meds where he can't get them without your supervision. Not R. Not the asshole. And I personally would start micromanaging his medication. I'd take it and make him ask for it so you can supervise him. Because apparently he needs that, rolling eyes face. Not the asshole. Tell him to get up and put it away. When it comes to the children's safety, I will nag every time until you learn. I mean, you wouldn't have to micromanage him if he could manage being a responsible parent. Not the asshole, but your husband is a huge one. I fervently hope that he never finds out how it will feel when his child is rushed to the ER specifically because he was careless. What happens when it isn't Tylenol, but rather diabetes medication? Or pain meds? Or heart medication? He might not be visiting his child in the morgue rather than the hospital. You are not the asshole, and your husband is being cavalier about endangering his kids' lives. Your husband is the asshole. You are definitely not the asshole. He can't be bothered to put his Tylenol away after taking it when it risks a child's health and life. Fuck that guy. Not the asshole. I've called CPS on this exact scenario and got a home daycare shut down for this. He's lucky I don't know his name. He needs to take this seriously. Just have him meet you at the ER once with you kids getting their stomach pumped. Not the asshole. That sounds exhausting. He has no right to be upset with you when his actions put your kids in danger. Not the asshole. What absolute lazy slob is so lazy they leave a bottle of Tylenol opened on the edge of the counter with kids around? It's just mind-boggling to me. Even if kids weren't around, who TF just opens a bottle of pills and doesn't put the lid back on? It literally takes like 2 seconds to recap it. Everyone else has already covered the insane danger of an odd of Tylenol, so I won't even go there.